Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Captain Nemo. Welcome to another Catalyst Black video. Today, I'm going to show you how to play this awesome game with a controller. That's right, I'm going to take you through the setup, how to set up a controller so you can play this game. I'm also going to map out all of the buttons for you. I'm going to tell you what each button does because that's kind of actually hard to figure out right now. So I'm going to save you some time, and of course at the end we're also going to play with the controller. We're going to do a little bit of action and gameplay, so you can check that one out if you'd like. Remember, all of this is a chapter down below, so you can skip to any of the sections you would like, whenever you would like. While you're down there, make sure to smash the like button, hit the subscribe. I have a lot more Catalyst Black content coming out for you, and you do not want to miss out. So let's get started with the settings and what you need to do to start playing with the controller right now. Now, before we get into the settings, you're going to need a controller. So that is going to be one of these. It doesn't have to be an Xbox controller. It can be a PlayStation controller. It can be whatever controller, as long as it's compatible with an iPhone or an iPad. Oh, this is what I'm playing on. I play on an iPad with the Xbox Bluetooth controller. That's the other thing. You have to make sure the controller is Bluetooth. It has to be Bluetooth because it needs to talk to this. It needs to talk to your Apple, to your iPad or whatever via Bluetooth, right? So it needs to be a Bluetooth controller. If you don't know what that is, you can look it up via the Apple site. Just look up compatible Bluetooth controller with whatever Apple device or an Android device that you have. But an Xbox Bluetooth controller, a PlayStation Bluetooth controller, or something similar will work fine. So what you're gonna do is, let me go into the settings and I'll show you. Actually, we could do this together right now. All right, now first things first, you're gonna navigate to the settings of your device. So go to settings and go to Bluetooth on your device. Second, you're going to take your controller and you're going to turn it on. Whatever controller it is, push the button, turn it on. Once you do that, you're going to see each controller has a little button on the side. For the Xbox, it's right on the top. Right here's a little tiny button. For the PlayStation, it's another one. For whatever controller you have, you're going to want to push the button that syncs the Bluetooth, that starts the Bluetooth process. Before you do that, I like to come into my Bluetooth settings, and sometimes there are some issues. If you just turn it off and then turn it back on, it clears up a lot of issues. It's just a good thing to do. Turn it off, turn it back on. If you're having issues, that's a good thing to do too. Turn it off, turn it back on, try again. You basically get this thing, you push the button, and then you will see an Xbox wireless controller for me, or a PlayStation, or whatever your controller is, to show up on the bottom. You're going to push that. It's going to say, hey, do you want to pair this? And you're going to say yes. Once you do that, that's it. The controller is now via Bluetooth paired to your device. And any game that is compatible, that can be played with the controller, you're going to be able to use on your Apple device or your Apple phone. And that's how easy it is. Let me jump back into the game and give you some buttons, because this is actually quite hard to find. I don't know why, for some reason, maybe because the game is still kind of in alpha. There is no mappable buttons. Like, you can't see what's what unless you figure it out yourself. So I already did. I'm going to give you some buttons. All right, buttons. By the way, this is me playing with the controller right here, and this is me doing work with the controller. So what are the buttons? Okay, actually pretty simple, pretty good. So a right trigger is your primary weapon. So your right trigger is your primary weapon. Your right bumper is your heavy weapon, your secondary weapon. Your left trigger is your heal or your special ability. For me, it's a heal, and maybe it's a run, whatever it is, as it is. The left bumper is the roll ability. So again, a right trigger is your primary, a right bumper is your heavy weapon. Left trigger is your heal or your special, and a left bumper is your roll. You move around with your right thumbstick, and you aim around with, you move around with your left thumbstick and you aim around with your right one. So you're able to, if you wanted to, push the controller this way and run back and look backwards and still be able to shoot, if you know what I mean. So that's kind of cool. I really like it. It's pretty intuitive. Now the buttons, these buttons do have secondary functions as well, and a lot of buttons have two functions, more than one. For example, the X is also a heal or your special. Sometimes the X is also good to heal your teammates. And A is your dodge or your roll button. So same thing as your left bumper. Kind of odd, but it works. Now, one button that you're definitely going to need is your Y button. The Y button on the controller, that is your primal. That's the mask. That's when you turn into Sunder or whoever else that you've chosen. The Y button will turn you into that. Now, one caveat, remember, this is kind of a little bit, I've wasted my primal. If you hit the Y button and it turns you into a primal, your triggers and your bumper still, like in your regular weapons, would be your attacks. So your primary attack would be, or with the Sunder or whoever it is, would be the right trigger, and the right bumper would be your secondary or your heavy attack. If you press X or B or some other buttons, sometimes it cancels your mask, your ability, and you go back to normal. And it's a waste. It's a heartbreaker. It happened to me a few times. So what you might want to do is whenever you activate your ability with Y, remember that you use only your right bumper and your right trigger when you're doing the attacking, and just your thumbsticks. To be honest with you, that's probably the way you want to run anyway. Like, you can use the A button for, or, you know, dodging or rolling, and you can use the left trigger or the left bumper, and you can use the heel for X, but you can also use the left trigger. I highly suggest using the triggers, because what it allows you to do, it allows you to keep your fingers on the thumbstick, and as you're moving them around and running around, you're able to use these right here as your primary fire and your secondary fire, as you heal and your dodge, allowing you to not have to take your fingers off your thumbsticks and to continually move. The only time that you have to take your finger off the right thumbstick is when you're hitting your primal and getting, you know, Sunder or whoever the mask is, getting that on, and then of course you jump right back onto the stick and go back to using your, you know, these guys right here, your trigger fingers. That is kind of the most effective way to play. So those are the buttons. They work pretty well. The controller buttons work pretty well. I haven't had any issues with anything so far. It's really smooth. If you have any issues or any questions, make sure to comment down below. I'll try to help you as much as I can. I've done a little bit of research, so I probably can, or will try to at least help you as much as I possibly can. Now, let's talk about my opinion and whether this is good or bad, whether you should use the controller or use the on-screen buttons. Let's get into that. Now, so controller versus on-screen buttons, what do you like more? Now let me explain something to you. I play with an iPad. It's big. I don't have an iPhone, and this game is not available on Android yet. I have an Android phone, so when I play with an iPad, it's quite awkward for me to play. The controllers and it's just because it's big, right? So you got to prop it on something, or you got to put it down on a stand, and when you put it down on your stand, you got to hold your hands all weird to try to get them. And for me, after a little while, because I love playing this game, it starts to hurt my hands, specifically like right over here, like when you fingering, you're playing, like, damn, after a while, like, oh, it really hurts. So because of that, I like a controller better, because I play on a tablet. The second reason too is I have pretty big hands. Okay, because of that, and again, on the phone it's not, it's a little bit better, because on the phone I can naturally kind of hold it and play with it, so maybe it would be easier. My hands are still big. It's still an issue for me. This is a regular Xbox controller, by the way, just, you know, size reference. That's my hand. This is the controller. That's my hand. You know, I don't know, it's sometimes, like I said, if I'm holding that tablet or I'm playing with it, it hurts. So same kind of deal with the phone, because it's awkward, because my fingers are long. I kind of got to elongate my hands and put them sideways to be able to hold it. For me, a controller is a godsend when it comes to that, because I'm able to play longer, because I can easily rest my hands and push the buttons and do what I gotta do to play. It's just better for me. Now, some people are just better with on-screen controls. I mean, I can see why you'd be good with that too. To be honest with you, as far as the competitive edge, I don't know. It's a really tough situation, tough story. Not really into the competitive anyway. I'm trying to have fun, and to be honest with you, you should play whatever way you're most comfortable playing. If you like playing on screen, play on screen. If you like to play with the controller and it's more fun for you for whatever reason, then play with the controller. Forget what everybody says. Have fun. That's what it's all about. For me, my hands hurt. Maybe I'm old, maybe my hands are too big, maybe I'm playing with a big iPad, whatever the reason is, for me it doesn't work. So I play with the controller. I started playing with it, and let me tell you, my hands don't hurt. I have a lot of fun. It's super fun, and I like playing with it. So it works, and it works pretty well. When I can get it on the phone and try it with just my phone, like when it comes out on Android, I'll tell you, I'm gonna do it again, and then I'm gonna test the difference between playing it with the controller and playing it straight up on the phone, and I'm gonna test it myself to see if it makes me better or worse and so on. I'm not sure if it's gonna make a big difference, to be honest with you, but you be the judge. You tell me down below what you think about a controller versus not controlled. Do you think it's good? Do you think it's not good? What do you think about it? I'd love to hear. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it helped you. I hope that, now you learned something, and maybe you start playing with a controller, or maybe not. whatever it is. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching. I have a whole bunch of more Catalyst Black videos. Oh, I got so many videos. You have no idea what's coming. Make sure to smash that like button and hit the subscribe, because I will going to be firing all day long Catalyst Black. Really exciting stuff. Thanks so much for watching. Check out this video right here, and I'll see you in the next one.